The Law of Inspired Action, Taking Steps Toward Destiny. Written and published by Ciro Ermisai. Feel free to subscribe for more content. Now let's get into the book. Introduction. Understanding the power of inspired action. We all have dreams, those visions that light us up inside and make us believe in something greater for ourselves. Maybe it's launching a business that aligns with your passion, pursuing a creative path you've always loved, or building deeper, more meaningful relationships. Whatever your dream may be, there's a universal truth that stands in the way of all of us. Without action, even the most beautiful dreams remain just that, dreams. But here's the thing, not all action is created equal. In fact, it's not just about taking any action, it's about inspired action. Inspired action comes from a place of alignment, where your inner desires and the universe's flow move together seamlessly. It's the difference between pushing forward with sheer effort and walking a path that feels divinely guided, where each step reveals itself just when you need it. This book is your guide to understanding how the law of inspired action works and how you can use it to create the life you desire. It's about more than just doing, it's about being, listening, and responding to the intuitive nudges that lead you toward your destiny. It's a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. The universe is always working with you, opening doors and guiding you along the way. Your job is to notice the signs, trust your intuition, and take action with intention and purpose. Why inspired action matters. We live in a world that often tells us we need to hustle endlessly to achieve success. While hard work has its place, there's a deeper truth. When your actions are aligned with your true self and your highest purpose, the journey becomes less about struggle and more about flow. Inspired action isn't about forcing things to happen. It's about being in sync with the rhythm of your life, so that your efforts feel natural and supported by something greater. Many people hesitate to take action because they feel overwhelmed or uncertain. They wait for everything to be perfect before they begin. But here's the secret: perfection isn't necessary. The law of inspired action asks you to trust that the first step is enough. Once you take that step, the universe meets you halfway. Opportunities, connections, and resources often appear once you've shown a willingness to act. The connection between thought and action. You may already be familiar with the law of attraction, which teaches that like attracts like, and that we can manifest our desires through focused thoughts and emotions. The law of inspired action complements this idea beautifully. While the law of attraction helps you align mentally and emotionally with what you want, the law of inspired action is the physical expression of those desires. It's not enough to think positive thoughts or set powerful intentions. Those intentions need to be followed by action. However, the kind of action matters. It's not about busy work or chasing goals out of fear or pressure. It's about taking the steps that feel right, the ones that come from a place of excitement, alignment, and trust in the process. What to expect in this book. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how you can harness the power of inspired action in your life. We'll start by helping you develop the right mindset, one that's open, trusting, and ready to act. Then we'll dive into how to listen to your intuition, recognize the signs from the universe, and overcome the barriers that hold you back from taking those crucial steps forward. You'll learn how to break free from inertia and procrastination, replacing them with small but meaningful steps that lead you toward your destiny. We'll also explore how to maintain balance and faith, even when the path isn't clear, and how to cultivate a deep sense of trust in yourself in the process. By the end of this book, you will have the tools to not only recognize inspired action but also confidently take those steps toward your goals, knowing that every movement, no matter how small, is guiding you toward the life you're meant to live. Your journey begins now. As you embark on this journey, remember that you don't need to have everything figured out from the start. Trust that the universe has your back and that the path will unfold as you take action. Be open to the signs, listen to your intuition, and take inspired steps forward. This is your moment to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start creating. The life you've been dreaming of is within your reach, and it all begins with that first step. So, let's walk this path together, and watch how the magic of inspired action transforms your reality. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Inspired Action. Before you can start taking inspired action, it's essential to understand what sets it apart from ordinary effort. Inspired action isn't just about doing things for the sake of progress or crossing tasks off a list. It's about moving in alignment with your true self and the flow of the universe. It's an intentional, energized form of action that feels right, even if it doesn't always seem logical or conventional. This chapter will lay the groundwork for understanding the deeper nature of inspired action, so you can recognize it when it arises and trust it as you move toward your goals. What sets inspired action apart? In life, we often confuse busyness with productivity. We fill our days with tasks, routines, and obligations, thinking that constant activity will lead us to success. However, without direction and clarity, much of this effort can feel draining and unfulfilling. Inspired action, on the other hand, comes from a place of purpose and alignment. Imagine the difference between trying to swim upstream in a fast-flowing river and floating with the current. When you're forcing your way forward through sheer effort, every stroke feels hard and progress is slow. But when you align yourself with the flow of the river, you move with ease and grace. That's what inspired action feels like. You're not pushing against the current of life, but instead, you're flowing with it. The energy behind inspired action. The energy behind inspired action is different because it's fueled by a sense of knowing. It's that inner feeling when something just clicks and you feel a strong, sometimes even inexplicable pull to move forward. It's the moment when doubt fades and you're driven by a sense of certainty, even if it doesn't make logical sense. Inspired action often shows up as a spark of excitement or a flash of clarity. You may feel a sudden urge to make a phone call, start a project, or explore a new opportunity. These moments aren't random, they are signals from your inner self and the universe that you are in alignment. Your job is to trust these feelings and act on them, even if the full picture isn't clear yet. Recognizing the signs of inspired action. One of the most important aspects of inspired action is learning to recognize the signs when they arise. These signs often come in the form of intuition, a gut feeling or an inner voice guiding you in a certain direction. It may not always be loud or obvious, but it's persistent. Here are a few common ways inspired action might manifest in your life. A sudden idea. You may get a flash of inspiration out of nowhere. It could be an idea for a project, a solution to a problem, or a desire to try something new. These ideas are often accompanied by a sense of excitement or urgency. A strong pull. Sometimes you'll feel a deep inner pull toward a particular action, even if it doesn't make complete sense logically. This pull is a sign that your intuition is aligning with the path you're meant to take. Synchronicities. Pay attention to the moments of coincidence that seem to align perfectly. These synchronicities, like meeting someone who can help with a project you've been thinking about, or stumbling across a book or article that provides exactly the answer you need, are signals from the universe encouraging you to take action. A feeling of peace. When you consider the action you're about to take, do you feel calm, excited, or confident? Inspired action often brings a sense of peace or inner knowing that you're on the right path, even if the journey ahead is uncertain. When inspiration emerges from alignment. True inspired action arises when you are in alignment with your higher self. This means that your thoughts, emotions, and energy are all pointed in the same direction. When you're in alignment, you naturally attract ideas, people, and opportunities that match the energy you're putting out into the world. Think of alignment as the key that unlocks the door to inspiration. When you're living in harmony with your values and goals, you create the space for inspiration to flow. But when you're out of alignment, perhaps you're stuck in negative thinking, or you're pursuing a goal that doesn't truly resonate with your deeper self, taking action feels forced and progress is slow. How to stay aligned. Staying aligned is a continual process. It's not about being perfect or always feeling positive, but rather about regularly checking in with yourself to ensure that your actions are coming from a place of authenticity. Here are a few ways to help you stay aligned with inspired action. Practice mindfulness. By staying present in the moment, you can better hear the quiet nudges of intuition. Mindfulness helps you tune into how you're feeling and what thoughts or ideas are trying to emerge. Listen to your emotions. Your emotions are powerful indicators of alignment. If you feel excitement, joy, or a sense of peace, it's a good sign that you're on the right track. If you feel resistance, fear, or discomfort, it may mean you need to reassess whether the actions you're taking are truly aligned with your purpose. Trust the process. Inspired action often requires a level of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, and trust in the timing of the universe. Even if things don't immediately fall into place, believing in the process helps you stay open to the flow of inspiration. Why inspired action is always the right action. One of the most empowering aspects of the law of inspired action is that it asks you to trust your inner guidance, knowing that it's always leading you in the right direction. Even if an action doesn't produce immediate results, the very act of following inspiration sets a series of events in motion that will eventually lead you to where you need to be. Inspired action rarely follows a straight line. The path might twist and turn, and there will be moments when you second-guess yourself. But remember, the universe responds to movement. Once you take that first inspired step, doors begin to open, opportunities arise, and people show up to support your journey. It's a dance between you and the universe. Each step forward is a step toward your destiny. Conclusion: recognizing and trusting inspired action. Inspired action is the universe's way of guiding you toward your highest potential. It requires you to listen, trust, and act, even when the path isn't fully clear. The beauty of this law is that it doesn't demand perfection or constant progress. It simply asks that you stay open to the signs, recognize the nudges when they appear, and move forward with faith. As you continue through this book, you'll learn how to strengthen your connection to inspired action, how to take those important steps even when fear arises, and how to maintain alignment in your everyday life. Every action you take with intention brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. Chapter 2: Cultivating the Mindset for Inspired Action. Taking inspired action begins in the mind. Before you can step into the flow of inspired action, you need to prepare the ground within yourself. This means cultivating a mindset that's open to intuition, aligned with your desires, and ready to take bold steps when the opportunity arises. In many ways, the hardest part of taking action is not the action itself, but the mental barriers that hold us back. Doubt, fear, and the desire for certainty can cloud our ability to see the opportunities that are right in front of us. Cultivating the right mindset isn't about eliminating these doubts entirely. It's about learning to move forward in spite of them, trusting that the path will unfold as you take each step. The power of clarity. Clarity is essential when it comes to inspired action. It's hard to know what step to take if you're unsure of what you truly want. Many people stay stuck in the same place because they haven't taken the time to connect with their deeper desires. They chase goals that don't resonate with them on a soul level, leading to frustration and burnout. Before you can act, you need to be clear on your intentions. What is it that you truly want to create in your life? Is it aligned with who you are at your core, or are you chasing something that you think you should want? Inspired action is born from authenticity, so the first step is getting clear on what feels right for you. Take time to reflect on your desires. What lights you up? What kind of life would you create if there were no limits or expectations from others? It's not about figuring out every detail. It's about connecting with the core of what feels true for you. Once you have clarity, even in a broad sense, it becomes easier to recognize the actions that will move you toward that vision. Trusting intuition over logic. In a world driven by logic and reason, trusting your intuition can feel like a leap of faith. Our minds often want to analyze every possibility, to map out the entire journey before we take the first step. While logical planning has its place, inspired action comes from a deeper source: your intuition. Intuition is the quiet voice that speaks when your mind is still. It's the feeling in your gut, the sense of knowing that arises even when there's no logical explanation. Inspired action is often sparked by these intuitive moments, and learning to trust them is key to moving forward. But trusting your intuition doesn't mean abandoning logic altogether. It's about learning to balance both, allowing your intuition to guide you in the right direction, and then using your mind to figure out the steps. When you receive an intuitive nudge, it's your job to honor it and take action, even if you can't see the whole path ahead. Consider those moments when you've had a strong gut feeling, whether it was a sudden idea, an urge to call someone, or a pull to explore something new. That was your intuition speaking. The more you practice listening to it and acting on it, the stronger your connection will become. Overcoming fear and doubt. One of the biggest barriers to taking inspired action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These feelings can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in inaction. But here's the truth: fear is a natural part of the journey. It's not something to eliminate, but something to understand and move through. When fear arises, it's often a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. The key is to recognize that fear doesn't have to stop you. You can take action alongside it. In fact, the most powerful actions often come in moments of uncertainty and fear. Doubt, too, can be a persistent companion on this journey. You might wonder if you're capable, if you're ready, or if you're making the right decision. But doubt is simply a reflection of your mind's need for security. Inspired action asks you to trust in something deeper than doubt, to trust in your intuition, your abilities, and the process of life. Taking the first step. Once you've cultivated clarity and learned to trust your intuition, the next step is quite simply to begin. The hardest part of any journey is often the first step, and yet it's the most crucial. You don't need to see the entire path in front of you, you just need to take that one step forward. Many people get stuck waiting for the perfect moment to begin, but the perfect moment doesn't exist. There will always be uncertainties, distractions, and reasons to hesitate. But the beauty of inspired action is that it doesn't require everything to be perfect. It simply requires you to act from a place of alignment and trust. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't need to know exactly how the plant will grow, but by planting the seed and nurturing it, you trust that it will eventually flourish. Inspired action works in the same way. Take the first step and trust that the next step will reveal itself in time. Momentum builds confidence. As you begin taking inspired action, you'll notice something remarkable. Each step you take builds momentum. That momentum in turn builds confidence. Suddenly, the path that once seemed so uncertain becomes clearer, and you find yourself moving forward with a sense of purpose. Momentum is a powerful force. It's much easier to continue taking action once you've started. The challenge is often in breaking through that initial resistance. But once you've done so, you'll find that each step feels more natural, and you'll begin to trust the process more deeply. Even small steps can create significant momentum. It's not about making huge leaps, it's about consistently moving forward, one inspired action at a time. Each small action compounds, eventually leading to the breakthroughs and shifts you've been hoping for. Conclusion: a mindset of openness and trust. Cultivating the mindset for inspired action means being open to possibilities, trusting your intuition, and overcoming the fears that hold you back. It's about letting go of the need for certainty and perfection and stepping into the unknown with faith that the universe will support you. As you move through the process of taking inspired action, remember that the journey is not linear. There will be moments of doubt and hesitation, but these are part of the process. The most important thing is to keep moving forward, trusting that each step you take brings you closer to your true destiny. Chapter 3: Tuning into your inner guidance. Inspired action is born from within. It's that subtle, almost whisper-like feeling that nudges you in a particular direction. But in a world full of noise, distractions, and external expectations, how do you tune into your inner guidance to recognize when it's speaking to you? This chapter is about quieting the external clamor, learning to listen to your intuition, and trusting the messages that come from your inner self. The quiet voice of intuition. Intuition often speaks quietly, not with loud fanfare but with gentle nudges. It's that feeling in your gut, the sudden clarity in your mind, or the sense of knowing without a clear logical reason. Intuition isn't something you think about, it's something you feel. This is the inner guidance that fuels inspired action. However, tuning into your intuition requires stillness. Our lives are often filled with mental chatter, external influences, and a constant barrage of information. This noise can make it difficult to hear your inner voice. Learning to quiet that noise is essential if you want to connect with your intuition and recognize the path of inspired action. One of the most powerful ways to begin tuning into your inner guidance is through mindfulness. When you slow down, breathe, and bring your awareness to the present moment, you create the space for your intuition to emerge. It's in those moments of stillness that the answers you've been seeking often rise to the surface. Learning to listen. Listening to your inner guidance doesn't require special skills, but it does require awareness. Often, we ignore our intuition because we're too busy trying to follow external rules or conform to expectations. We get caught up in what we think we should do instead of listening to what we truly feel is right. Start by paying attention to the subtle signs that arise in your everyday life. These signs can come in many forms: a gut feeling, a random thought that feels significant, or even external synchronicities that point you in a certain direction. The more you practice noticing these signs, the easier it will become to trust your inner guidance. Consider a time when you've had a strong sense of what to do next, even if you couldn't explain why. Perhaps you felt drawn to call someone, or you felt pulled toward a particular decision that didn't seem logical at the time. That was your intuition speaking. Learning to trust those feelings even when they don't seem to make sense is the key to taking inspired action. Cultivating inner stillness. In a fast-paced world, inner stillness might feel elusive. But creating moments of calm in your day is essential for tuning into your intuition. This doesn't mean you need to meditate for hours or retreat from the world. Even small practices can make a big difference. Start with just a few minutes of quiet time each day. Whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, or simply sitting in silence, allow yourself the space to reconnect with your inner self. In these moments, you'll begin to notice the subtle feelings and ideas that arise. These are often the first signs of inspired action waiting to be taken. Another way to cultivate stillness is through activities that bring you into a state of flow, where you lose track of time and become fully immersed in what you're doing. This could be anything from painting, writing, or walking in nature. When you're in flow, your mind quiets, and your intuition has the space to emerge more clearly. Trusting the nudges. One of the biggest challenges of tuning into your inner guidance is trusting it once it appears. Our minds often want to overanalyze, second-guess, and rationalize away the subtle nudges we receive. But intuition doesn't operate on logic. It's a deeper knowing that transcends the mind's desire for certainty. It's important to remember that your intuition won't always give you the full picture right away. You may receive a nudge to take a small step, even if you can't yet see where that step will lead. This is where trust comes in. Inspired action is about following the next step that feels right, even if the entire path isn't clear. Think of it as following a trail of breadcrumbs. Each breadcrumb represents a small piece of the puzzle, and as you follow one, the next one becomes visible. You don't need to see the whole journey at once. You just need to trust the step that's in front of you. Recognizing the signs from the universe. In addition to the inner feelings of intuition, the universe often sends external signs to guide us along our path. These signs can show up as synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that feel too perfect to be random. Perhaps you're thinking about a particular idea, and suddenly you meet someone who has the exact information or opportunity you need. Or maybe you're contemplating a decision, and a seemingly unrelated event gives you clarity. These signs are the universe's way of confirming that you're on the right track. The more aligned you are with your inner self, the more often these synchronicities will appear. When you notice them, pay attention. They are invitations to take inspired action. For example, you might be considering a new project, but you're unsure whether it's the right direction. Then, seemingly out of the blue, you come across an article, a book, or a conversation that relates directly to your idea. These moments aren't just coincidences. They're signals that the universe is aligning to support your next step. The role of feelings in inspired action. One of the most reliable indicators of inspired action is how it feels. When you're in alignment with your inner guidance, actions feel exciting, light, or peaceful. There may still be uncertainty or fear, but underneath that, there's a sense of rightness. Pay attention to these feelings, they are your compass. Conversely, if an action feels forced, heavy, or filled with resistance, it may not be the right path for you. This doesn't mean you should avoid all discomfort. Sometimes growth requires stepping outside your comfort zone, but it's important to distinguish between the fear of growth and the resistance that arises when something is truly out of alignment. When you act from a place of inspired guidance, you often feel a deep sense of peace, even if the external circumstances are uncertain. This peace comes from knowing that you're following a path that's true to you, rather than trying to fit into someone else's expectations. Strengthening your connection to inner guidance. The more you listen to and trust your inner guidance, the stronger that connection will become. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the more natural it feels. Over time, you'll find that you can tune into your intuition more easily and recognize inspired action with greater clarity. One powerful way to strengthen this connection is through journaling. When you write down your thoughts, feelings, and intuitive nudges, you create a space for reflection. Journaling allows you to track the patterns of your inner guidance and see how they've led you to take inspired actions in the past. Over time, this practice builds trust in your ability to recognize and act on your intuition. You can also strengthen your connection by asking yourself open-ended questions. What do I feel called to do next? What action feels exciting or meaningful right now? By asking these questions, you invite your inner guidance to speak, and you create space for inspiration to emerge. Acting on your inner knowing. Tuning into your inner guidance is about cultivating stillness, listening to your intuition, and trusting the subtle nudges that arise. It's a process that requires both patience and practice, but the rewards are profound. The more you trust your intuition, the more clearly you'll be able to recognize inspired action when it calls. Chapter 4. The intersection of vision and action. Having a vision for your life is incredibly powerful. It provides direction, fuels motivation, and gives you something to strive for. But vision without action is like a ship without a rudder. It may be filled with potential, but without movement, it remains adrift. In this chapter, we'll explore how to bridge the gap between dreaming and doing, and how to transform your vision into reality through inspired action. The role of vision in inspired action. Vision is the starting point. It's the spark of inspiration, the grand idea that excites you, and the image of the life you want to create. But a vision is only as powerful as the actions you take to bring it to life. Too often we get stuck in the realm of dreaming, imagining all the things we could do but never taking the steps necessary to make them real. The law of inspired action teaches us that the key to realizing any vision is to take aligned, purposeful steps toward it. Action is what transforms a dream from a possibility into a reality. Your vision provides the what, but it's your inspired actions that provide the how. One of the challenges many people face is that their vision feels too big, too far away, or too overwhelming to achieve. They see the end goal but struggle to figure out where to begin. This is where inspired action comes into play. It's not about taking massive leaps all at once. It's about taking the next step, trusting that each small action is guiding you closer to your ultimate goal. Translating vision into action. The process of translating vision into action can feel daunting, especially when you're focused on the enormity of the end goal. But here's the thing. You don't need to have every detail figured out right away. Inspired action doesn't require a perfect plan. It only requires you to take the next step. Think of your vision as the destination on a long journey. You don't need to know every twist and turn of the road before you start driving. You simply need to begin knowing that each mile brings you closer. The journey itself will reveal the next steps as you go. The key is to move forward, trusting that the path will become clearer with each action you take. One of the most effective ways to bridge the gap between vision and action is to break your larger goal into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming size of the vision, ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goal? Even the smallest action, making a phone call, writing down your ideas, or setting aside time for research, creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and as you continue taking inspired actions, you'll notice that your vision begins to take shape in ways you hadn't anticipated. This is the magic of the law of inspired action. Once you commit to moving forward, the universe responds by opening doors and aligning opportunities. The power of starting small. There's a common misconception that achieving big goals requires big actions. While it's true that significant change often requires commitment and effort, the reality is that big transformations are usually the result of many small, consistent actions taken over time. The key to making progress toward your vision is to start small. Don't worry about taking massive leaps forward. Focus on taking meaningful steps that align with your goal. These small actions might seem insignificant on their own, but over time, they accumulate into real, tangible progress. Consider the analogy of planting a tree. When you plant a seed, you don't expect it to become a towering tree overnight. You nurture it, water it, and give it time to grow. Eventually, that small seed becomes a strong-rooted tree. The same principle applies to your vision. Each action you take is like watering the seed, and with time and patience, your vision will begin to grow into something real and lasting. Inspired action versus forced action. One of the most important distinctions to make when turning vision into action is the difference between inspired action and forced action. Forced action comes from a place of pressure, obligation, or fear. It's the kind of action that feels heavy, draining, and unaligned with your true self. Inspired action, on the other hand, comes from a place of excitement, flow, and alignment. It feels energizing and purposeful, even if it's challenging. When you're taking inspired action, you feel a sense of rightness, as if you're moving in sync with the universe. This doesn't mean every step will be easy, but there's a deeper sense of trust that you're on the right path. It's important to recognize when you're pushing yourself to take action that doesn't feel inspired. While there will be moments when you need to push through discomfort to grow, there's a difference between pushing through fear and forcing yourself to take action that feels out of alignment. The law of inspired action asks you to tune into how you feel as you take steps toward your vision. Are you feeling energized and motivated, or are you feeling drained and resistant? Pay attention to these feelings, they are your guide. When you feel resistance, it may be a sign to pause, reflect, and adjust your course. When you feel inspired, it's a sign to keep moving forward with trust and confidence. Letting go of perfectionism. Another common obstacle that holds people back from turning vision into action is perfectionism. The desire to get everything exactly right before taking action can be paralyzing. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to have a flawless plan, the perfect circumstances, or complete certainty before you begin. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion that only serves to delay progress. The beauty of inspired action is that it doesn't require perfection. It requires courage and willingness to take the first step, even if it's messy or uncertain. When you let go of the need to have everything perfectly aligned, you free yourself to take action with a sense of openness and curiosity. Remember, the path to your vision will likely be full of twists and turns. Mistakes, detours, and unexpected challenges are all part of the journey. But every action you take, even the ones that don't go as planned, is valuable. Each step teaches you something, reveals new insights, and brings you closer to your goal. The key is to embrace imperfection as part of the process. Take action even when things aren't perfect, and trust that clarity will come as you move forward. Your vision doesn't need to be realized in a perfect, linear way. It needs to be realized through consistent, inspired steps that align with your true self. Staying open to the process. As you take action toward your vision, it's important to remain open to the process. Sometimes the path you envision will shift or evolve as new opportunities and insights arise. This is part of the beauty of inspired action. Once you begin moving forward, the universe often presents you with possibilities that you couldn't have anticipated. Staying open means being flexible and willing to adjust your course as needed. It means trusting that even when things don't go according to plan, they are unfolding in the way that's best for your growth and ultimate success. Inspired action isn't rigid. It's dynamic, flowing, and responsive to the shifts in your journey. This doesn't mean abandoning your vision. It means allowing the journey to take shape in ways you couldn't have predicted. Sometimes, what you thought was the destination is simply a stepping stone to something even greater. The key is to remain open, trust the process, and keep taking inspired action, no matter how the path unfolds. From vision to reality. Bridging the gap between vision and action is the heart of inspired living. Your vision provides the direction, but it's your inspired actions that bring it to life. By starting small, trusting your intuition, and staying open to the process, you can transform even the grandest vision into a tangible reality. As you move forward, remember that the path won't always be clear, and that's okay. The most important thing is to keep taking steps, no matter how small, toward your goal. Every action you take, no matter how simple, is a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to bring your vision into existence. Chapter 5. Overcoming inertia and procrastination. We've all been there, stuck in a cycle of wanting to take action but feeling unable to move forward. Whether it's due to fear, doubt, or simply the overwhelming nature of a big goal, inertia and procrastination can feel like heavy weights that keep us from making progress. But the law of inspired action teaches that the key to breaking through inertia is not through force, but through alignment. In this chapter, we'll explore how to overcome procrastination and inertia by reconnecting with your inner guidance and using small, meaningful steps to build momentum. Understanding inertia. Inertia is the resistance to change or movement. In the physical world, an object at rest stays at rest until an external force acts upon it. Similarly, in our personal lives, we often remain stuck in place until something compels us to move. But here's the good news. The force that breaks through inertia doesn't need to be overwhelming or dramatic. In fact, it can be as simple as a single inspired step. The root of inertia is often found in fear or uncertainty. When faced with a big task or goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Our minds start imagining all the possible challenges, failures, and what-ifs, creating a sense of paralysis. Instead of taking action, we hesitate, waiting for the right moment or the perfect conditions to align before moving forward. But this hesitation only feeds the inertia, making it harder to begin. The power of starting small. One of the most effective ways to overcome inertia is to start small. When the task ahead feels too big or overwhelming, break it down into the smallest possible step. This step doesn't need to be grand or even directly related to your end goal. The key is to get moving, to break the cycle of inactivity by doing something that creates momentum. For example, if you've been procrastinating on starting a new project, your first step could be as simple as writing down your thoughts about the project. Or if you've been putting off a difficult conversation, the first step might be reflecting on what you want to say. The action doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be taken. The magic of small steps is that they build confidence. Once you've taken the first step, it's easier to take the next and the next. Before you know it, the inertia has been broken, and you're moving forward with a sense of purpose. Each small step you take creates momentum, making the larger tasks feel more manageable. Why we procrastinate. Procrastination is often a symptom of deeper emotional or psychological blocks. It's easy to label procrastination as laziness, but more often than not, it's a way of protecting ourselves from discomfort. When we procrastinate, we're usually avoiding something that feels challenging, uncertain, or potentially painful. There are several common reasons why we procrastinate. Fear of failure. The fear that we won't succeed or that our efforts won't be good enough can cause us to delay starting altogether. We'd rather not try at all than risk failing. Perfectionism. The belief that we need to do everything perfectly can make even the smallest task feel overwhelming. If we can't do it perfectly, why start at all? Overwhelm. When a task or goal feels too big, it can be paralyzing. The sheer size of the project can make it difficult to know where to begin, leading to avoidance. Lack of clarity. Sometimes we procrastinate because we're not clear on what action to take. Without a clear direction, it's easy to stay stuck in indecision. Understanding the root cause of your procrastination can help you address it more effectively. By bringing awareness to the emotions behind your procrastination, you can start to break free from its grip and move forward with inspired action. Breaking the cycle of procrastination. To break the cycle of procrastination, it's important to focus on progress, not perfection. Often, we procrastinate because we feel the need to get everything right from the start. But the truth is, action creates clarity. When you take even the smallest step, you gain insight and momentum, which makes the next step easier to see. Here are some strategies for breaking the procrastination cycle. 1. Focus on the next step, not the whole journey. When you're feeling stuck, shift your focus away from the end goal and bring it back to the next actionable step. What's one thing you can do right now to move forward? The more you focus on the immediate action, the less overwhelmed you'll feel by the bigger picture. 2. Set a time limit. Sometimes procrastination stems from feeling like a task will take forever to complete. Set a timer for just 10 or 15 minutes and commit to working on the task for that short period. You may find that once you start, you're able to keep going beyond the timer. 3. Reward yourself for progress. Celebrate the small wins. Every time you take action, even if it's minor, acknowledge it. Rewarding yourself for progress, whether it's with a break, a treat, or simply a moment of recognition, reinforces the behavior of taking action. 4. Forgive yourself for delays. Procrastination often comes with guilt and self-criticism. But beating yourself up for not taking action only creates more resistance. Instead, forgive yourself for any delays and focus on what you can do right now. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. Aligning action with intention. One of the most powerful ways to overcome inertia and procrastination is to reconnect with your original intention. Why did you set this goal in the first place? What's the deeper reason behind the action you want to take? When you reconnect with your intention, You reignite the energy and inspiration that initially sparked the goal. Inspired action is always aligned with your inner purpose. It's not about doing something because you should or because others expect it of you. It's about doing what feels right and meaningful for you. When you take action from a place of alignment, it doesn't feel forced. It feels natural even if it's challenging. If you find yourself procrastinating, take a moment to reconnect with your intention. Close your eyes and ask yourself, why is this important to me? What will it feel like to accomplish this? By tuning into the emotional and spiritual significance of your goal, you can reignite your motivation to take action. Shifting your mindset, progress over perfection. One of the biggest mindset shifts you can make to overcome procrastination is to prioritize progress over perfection. Perfectionism is a major contributor to procrastination because it sets an impossible standard that paralyzes you before you even begin. Instead of aiming for perfect outcomes, focus on making progress, no matter how small. Each action you take, no matter how imperfect, brings you closer to your goal. The journey toward your vision will never be perfect, and that's okay. The key is to keep moving forward, trusting that the lessons learned from imperfect action are just as valuable as the successes. Building momentum through inspired action. Once you've taken that first step, momentum becomes your greatest ally. Action breeds action. The more you move, the easier it becomes to keep moving. This is why starting with a small, manageable step is so powerful. It breaks the inertia and sets the stage for continued progress. As you begin to take inspired action, you'll notice that the resistance and procrastination start to fade. The energy you once spent avoiding the task now gets redirected into meaningful movement. Each step you take builds your confidence, making the next step feel easier and more natural. It's important to celebrate this momentum. Each small victory is proof that you're capable of breaking free from procrastination and inertia. Over time, you'll find that what once felt overwhelming or impossible now feels achievable. The key is consistency. Keep taking inspired steps no matter how small, and the momentum will continue to build. Moving through inertia with grace. Overcoming inertia and procrastination isn't about forcing yourself to act. It's about finding alignment with your inner self and taking small, inspired steps that create momentum. When you focus on progress over perfection, and when you reconnect with your deeper intention, you begin to move through the resistance with grace and ease. Remember, the path to your goals won't always be a straight line, and that's okay. The most important thing is that you keep moving forward even if it's just one small step at a time. With each step, you're breaking through the barriers of inertia and creating the momentum needed to reach your vision. Chapter 6. The Role of Faith in Inspired Action. When you're in the midst of pursuing your goals, especially ones driven by inspired action, there comes a point where faith becomes essential. Faith bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, even when you can't see the full path ahead. In this chapter, we'll explore how faith plays a crucial role in taking inspired action and how trusting the process can help you maintain momentum, even in moments of uncertainty. Why faith matters. Faith is the belief in something beyond what is immediately visible. When it comes to inspired action, faith is about trusting that the steps you're taking, even if they seem small or insignificant, are leading you in the right direction. It's about believing that the universe is supporting you, even when the results aren't instantly apparent. Faith matters because there will always be moments when the path ahead isn't clear. No matter how well you plan, life is full of unexpected twists and turns. These moments can be disorienting, causing you to question whether you're on the right track or whether your efforts will pay off. Without faith, it's easy to fall into doubt, fear, or frustration when things don't go as expected. However, when you have faith, faith in yourself, faith in the process, and faith in the universe, you're able to move forward even when uncertainty arises. Faith acts as a stabilizing force, allowing you to trust that the actions you're taking, even the ones that seem uncertain or risky, are contributing to the greater picture of your life's journey. Trusting the process. Inspired action often requires you to step into the unknown. While planning and preparation are valuable, there are times when you won't have all the answers or a clear map of how to reach your destination. This is where faith in the process becomes crucial. Trusting the process means letting go of the need to control every outcome. It means accepting that there will be moments of uncertainty, but knowing that these moments are part of your journey. When you trust the process, You understand that life unfolds in its own timing and that your inspired actions are always contributing to the bigger picture, even if you don't see immediate results. Consider a time when you faced a challenge or setback but later realized it was an important part of your growth. Perhaps that job rejection led to an even better opportunity, or that unexpected detour introduced you to someone who became a key player in your life. These moments remind us that the universe has its own way of orchestrating things. By trusting the process, you allow life to unfold in ways that may be better than anything you could have planned. Letting go of the need for immediate results. One of the greatest challenges when taking inspired action is letting go of the need for immediate results. We live in a culture that values instant gratification, and it can be difficult to stay committed to a path when you don't see quick rewards. But inspired action often works on a different timeline, one that requires patience, persistence, and most of all, faith. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't expect to see a tree the next day. You trust that with time, care, and nurturing, the seed will grow into something strong and beautiful. The same is true for the actions you take in pursuit of your goals. Each action is a seed, and while you may not see the fruits of your labor right away, that doesn't mean they aren't growing beneath the surface. Faith asks you to let go of the need for immediate validation. It invites you to trust that the results will come in time, and that the value of your actions goes beyond what you can measure in the moment. By releasing the need for instant results, you free yourself to focus on the joy of the journey, rather than the pressure of achieving an outcome. Balancing action and surrender. Taking inspired action requires both movement and surrender. It's a dance between doing and allowing. While action is necessary to create change, there's also a point where you must surrender control and trust that the universe will meet you halfway. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. Rather, it's about recognizing the limits of your control and allowing space for things to unfold naturally. It's the realization that while you can take steps toward your goals, you can't force every detail to happen exactly as you envision. Sometimes, the best course of action is to step back, release your attachment to the outcome, and trust that the universe is working in your favor. This balance between action and surrender can be tricky to navigate, especially if you're someone who likes to plan every step. But surrender is an essential part of the process. It allows you to let go of the stress and anxiety that come from trying to control everything, and instead, create space for serendipity, synchronicity, and unexpected opportunities to enter your life. Overcoming doubt with faith. Doubt is a natural part of any journey. There will be moments when you question whether you're on the right path, whether your efforts are making a difference, or whether you're capable of achieving your goals. In these moments, faith is what helps you move through the doubt. It's important to understand that faith and doubt aren't opposites. You can feel doubt and still choose to have faith. Faith isn't the absence of uncertainty. It's the decision to keep going despite uncertainty. It's the belief that even though you may not have all the answers right now, things will work out in time. When doubt arises, remind yourself of why you started. Reconnect with your vision and the deeper purpose behind your actions. Remember that every journey has its ups and downs, and that doubt is simply part of the process. By choosing to have faith, you strengthen your resolve and allow yourself to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. Faith in yourself. At the core of inspired action is faith in yourself. This is more than just believing in your abilities, it's about trusting that you are capable of navigating whatever challenges come your way. It's about knowing that, no matter what happens, you have the inner strength and resilience to adapt, learn, and grow. Faith in yourself also means trusting your intuition. When you take inspired action, you're often following a path that isn't fully mapped out. This requires a deep trust in your own inner guidance, the belief that your instincts and inner knowing are leading you in the right direction. Even when external circumstances seem uncertain, your intuition is a reliable guide. Strengthening faith in yourself takes time and practice. It's something that grows with each step you take, each challenge you overcome, and each success you achieve. The more you trust yourself, the more confident you become in your ability to take inspired action, no matter what obstacles arise. Faith in the universe. Faith in the universe is the belief that you are supported by a greater force, and that this force is guiding you toward your highest good. It's the understanding that the universe is not random, but deeply interconnected, and that your actions, especially when they are aligned with your true purpose, are supported by this larger energy. This faith allows you to relax into the journey, knowing that you don't have to do it all alone. It reminds you that while you are responsible for taking inspired action, the universe is always working behind the scenes to support your growth and evolution. This doesn't mean that challenges won't arise. Challenges are part of growth, but it does mean that you're never truly alone in your efforts. Having faith in the universe also means staying open to the unexpected. Sometimes the universe brings you opportunities or challenges that you didn't foresee, but these moments are often pivotal in leading you to where you need to be. By trusting in the process, you open yourself up to new possibilities that may be even better than what you originally envisioned. Trusting the journey. Faith is the foundation of inspired action. It allows you to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is uncertain. By trusting the process, letting go of the need for immediate results, and balancing action with surrender, you create the space for magic to happen. Remember that faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about believing in yourself, trusting your intuition, and knowing that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. When doubt arises, lean into faith. When the results aren't immediate, trust in the timing. And when challenges come, believe in your ability to navigate them with grace. Chapter 7: Taking Small but Meaningful Steps. When we think of achieving our dreams or reaching a major goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer size of the task ahead. Big goals can seem daunting, and that feeling of overwhelm often leads to inaction. But the truth is, progress isn't always about making giant leaps. More often than not, it's the small, consistent steps we take that ultimately lead to the biggest transformations. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of taking small but meaningful steps toward your vision. You'll learn how even the tiniest action, when taken from a place of alignment and inspiration, can set off a chain reaction that brings you closer to your goals. The power of small steps. There's a common misconception that achieving big things requires massive action. But in reality, lasting progress is often built on a foundation of small, consistent actions taken over time. These small steps may not seem significant in the moment, but their cumulative effect can lead to profound changes in your life. Consider the process of building a house. You don't construct an entire house overnight. Instead, you lay one brick at a time, slowly but steadily building something solid and lasting. Each individual brick may seem insignificant on its own, but together they create the foundation of something much larger. This is how small, meaningful steps work. When you take consistent action, no matter how small, you begin to build momentum. And as momentum grows, so does your confidence, making it easier to take the next step and the next. The key is to start where you are with what you have, and to keep moving forward, trusting that every step, no matter how small, is moving you toward your goal. Overcoming the need for big leaps. Many people get stuck because they feel that they need to take massive action right from the start. They believe that in order to make progress, they need to make a grand gesture or achieve a significant breakthrough. This mindset can be paralyzing, especially when the goal feels too big to tackle all at once. The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment to take a big leap often leads to procrastination and stagnation. In contrast, when you focus on taking small steps, you bypass the pressure of needing everything to be perfect. You give yourself permission to start imperfectly, knowing that progress is built over time. By releasing the need for big leaps, you allow yourself to make steady, manageable progress. This doesn't mean you won't have moments of big breakthroughs or significant achievements. Those will come. But they will likely be the result of many small actions that have accumulated over time, rather than a single giant leap. Breaking down big goals. One of the most effective ways to take meaningful action is to break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps. When you focus solely on the big picture, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task ahead. Breaking it down into smaller steps not only makes the goal feel more achievable but also provides a clear path forward. For example, let's say your goal is to write a book. The idea of writing an entire book may feel daunting, but if you break it down into smaller tasks, writing a chapter, drafting an outline, or even writing a single page each day, the goal suddenly becomes more manageable. Each small step moves you closer to the finished product, and before you know it, you've made significant progress. This principle applies to any goal, whether it's starting a new business, pursuing a creative project, or improving your health. By focusing on the next small step, rather than the entire journey, you make it easier to take action and maintain momentum. Staying consistent with small actions. Consistency is the key to long-term success. It's not about how fast you move, but about maintaining steady progress over time. Taking small but consistent steps ensures that you're always moving forward, even if it's at a slower pace than you might like. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't expect the plants to grow overnight. Instead, you water them consistently, tending to them each day, and over time they begin to flourish. The same is true for your goals. Small, consistent actions taken day after day create the conditions for growth and progress. Staying consistent doesn't mean you need to do something monumental every day. It could be as simple as spending 10 minutes working on your goal, sending an important email, or doing one thing that brings you closer to your vision. The key is to keep moving forward no matter how small the steps. How small steps create big results. The power of small, consistent action lies in its ability to create momentum. Momentum is what keeps you moving forward, even when things get tough or when the path ahead isn't entirely clear. Once you've taken that first step, it becomes easier to take the next, and the next, until you've built up enough momentum to carry you through even the most challenging moments. Small steps also help you build confidence. Each time you take action, you prove to yourself that you're capable of making progress. This sense of accomplishment, no matter how small, strengthens your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. As your confidence grows, so does your willingness to take on bigger challenges. Over time, these small actions accumulate into something much larger. The progress may be gradual, but it's steady and sustainable. And as you continue to take inspired action, you'll find that what once seemed like a distant dream is now within reach. Staying aligned with your vision. As you take small steps toward your goals, it's important to stay aligned with your vision. Each action you take should be connected to the bigger picture of what you want to create. This alignment ensures that your actions are purposeful and meaningful, rather than just busy work. To stay aligned, regularly check in with yourself and ask, is this action moving me closer to my goal? Does it feel aligned with my values and vision? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. If not, it may be time to adjust your course. Alignment doesn't mean that every action will feel easy or effortless, but it does mean that you're moving in the direction of your true desires. When you're aligned with your vision, even the smallest steps carry a sense of purpose and intention. Finding joy in the process. One of the most overlooked aspects of taking small steps is the joy that comes from the process itself. When you focus too much on the end result, it's easy to miss the value of the journey. But when you slow down and appreciate each small step, you begin to find joy in the act of creating and moving toward your goals. Taking small steps allows you to be present in the moment, rather than constantly chasing the next big thing. It invites you to celebrate your progress along the way, recognizing that each step is an important part of the larger journey. Finding joy in the process also helps you stay motivated. When you enjoy the journey, you're more likely to stick with it even when the going gets tough. And as you continue to take inspired action, you'll find that the process itself becomes just as rewarding as the outcome. Every step counts. No matter how big your goal or how distant it may seem, remember that every small step you take brings you closer. Progress doesn't have to be immediate or dramatic. It simply needs to be consistent and aligned with your vision. By focusing on small but meaningful actions, you create momentum, build confidence, and stay aligned with your purpose. Each step, no matter how small, matters. The journey toward your dreams is built one step at a time, and with each action you take, you're moving closer to the life you desire. Chapter 8. Listening to feedback from the universe. As you take inspired action and move toward your goals, it's important to remember that the universe is constantly communicating with you. The universe provides feedback in the form of signs, synchronicities, and opportunities that help guide you on your journey. These signals act as gentle nudges, helping you stay aligned with your purpose and pointing you in the right direction. In this chapter, we'll explore how to tune into the feedback the universe offers, how to recognize signs and synchronicities, and how to adjust your course based on the guidance you receive. By learning to listen to this feedback, you'll deepen your connection with the flow of life and ensure that your actions remain aligned with your highest goals. The universe is always speaking. The universe is not silent. It communicates with you constantly, offering subtle hints and clues to help you navigate your path. These messages often come in the form of external events, things that seem coincidental, but carry a deeper significance. They might also arise as internal feelings or intuitions, prompting you to pay attention or take action. Tuning in to these messages requires awareness. When you're caught up in the busyness of life or overly focused on rigid plans, it's easy to miss the signs that are right in front of you. But when you slow down and become more mindful, you'll begin to notice how the universe is guiding you. The feedback you receive from the universe isn't always about telling you what to do directly. Instead, it often serves as a confirmation or adjustment to the actions you're already taking. It might show you that you're on the right track by offering encouragement in the form of synchronicities, or it might indicate that it's time to shift direction by presenting obstacles or delays. Recognizing synchronicities. Synchronicities are meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. They are moments when events, people, or opportunities align in a way that feels significant, as though the universe is orchestrating things behind the scenes. These synchronicities are one of the most common forms of feedback from the universe, and they often appear when you're aligned with your purpose. For example, you might be thinking about starting a new project, and just as you're considering it, you meet someone who has the exact resources or expertise you need to move forward. Or perhaps you've been reflecting on a difficult decision, and out of the blue, you come across a book or article that provides the clarity you've been seeking. These moments are not just random events. They are signs that you're in the flow of life, and that the universe is responding to your intentions and actions. When you notice these synchronicities, pay attention. They are signals that you're on the right path, and they often come with a sense of ease and alignment. Interpreting obstacles as feedback. While synchronicities often feel like positive reinforcement, the universe also communicates through obstacles and challenges. When you encounter delays, difficulties, or resistance, it's easy to become frustrated or discouraged. But these obstacles are also a form of feedback, offering valuable insights about your path. Obstacles don't necessarily mean that you're on the wrong path, but they may indicate that it's time to pause, reassess, or adjust your approach. For instance, if you keep encountering roadblocks in a particular project, it might be a sign that you need to shift your strategy or reconsider whether this goal is truly aligned with your deeper purpose. Sometimes, obstacles serve as opportunities for growth. They push you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, develop new skills, or learn important lessons that will serve you in the long run. By viewing challenges as feedback rather than failures, you can use them as stepping stones to greater clarity and success. How to listen for feedback. Listening for feedback from the universe requires you to be present and open to receiving guidance, both from within and from the world around you. Here are some ways to sharpen your awareness and tune into the messages the universe is sending. 1. Cultivate mindfulness. The more present and mindful you are in your daily life, the easier it becomes to notice signs and synchronicities. When you're fully engaged with the present moment, you're more likely to recognize the subtle ways the universe is communicating with you. 2. Pay attention to patterns. Synchronicities often appear as recurring patterns or themes. If you keep encountering the same message, symbol, or opportunity, it's worth paying attention to. These patterns are the universe's way of drawing your focus to something important. 3. Trust your intuition. Sometimes the feedback from the universe comes in the form of a gut feeling or an intuitive nudge. You might feel a sense of excitement, ease, or peace when you're moving in the right direction, or a sense of discomfort or resistance when something is off. Trust these feelings as valuable guidance. 4. Ask for signs. If you're feeling uncertain about a decision or direction, you can ask the universe for a sign. This might sound mystical, but it's a practice that many people find helpful. Set an intention and ask for clarity, then remain open to receiving guidance in the form of external events, synchronicities, or internal insights. Adjusting your course based on feedback. Once you've started to recognize the feedback you're receiving, it's important to act on it. Sometimes the feedback will confirm that you're on the right track, giving you the encouragement to keep moving forward. Other times it will ask you to adjust your course, change your approach, or reconsider your goals. The key to adjusting your course is flexibility. Inspired action is about flowing with the natural rhythm of life, and part of that flow involves being adaptable. When you receive feedback that suggests a shift is needed, don't be afraid to pivot. Trust that the universe is guiding you towards something even better than what you originally envisioned. For example, if you've been pursuing a goal with a specific plan in mind, but you keep encountering resistance or obstacles, take a step back and ask yourself, is there another way to approach this? Is there something I'm missing? The universe may be nudging you toward a different path that's more aligned with your purpose. Balancing action with reflection. Taking inspired action doesn't mean constantly moving forward without pause. In fact, one of the most important aspects of inspired action is the ability to balance doing with reflecting. After taking action, take time to reflect on the results and the feedback you've received. This reflection allows you to adjust your course if necessary and ensures that you remain aligned with your purpose. Reflection also deepens your connection with the universe. It's during these moments of stillness that you can more easily hear the subtle guidance that's being offered. Whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts, regular reflection helps you stay in tune with the flow of life. Embracing the flow of synchronicity. When you begin to notice and act on the feedback you receive from the universe, you'll find that life starts to flow with greater ease. Synchronicities become more frequent, and obstacles become less daunting. This doesn't mean that challenges will disappear altogether, but it does mean that you'll be better equipped to navigate them with grace. Embracing the flow of synchronicity means trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, even when the path isn't entirely clear. It's about staying open to the unexpected and allowing the universe to guide you toward the opportunities, people, and experiences that are meant for you. Trusting the feedback you receive. The universe is always communicating with you, offering feedback to help you stay aligned with your highest purpose. By learning to recognize and interpret the signs, synchronicities, and obstacles that arise, you can navigate your path with greater clarity and confidence. As you continue to take inspired action, trust that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. Pay attention to the feedback you receive, adjust your course as needed, and stay open to the magic of synchronicity. The more you listen, the more you'll find that life is guiding you toward exactly where you need to be. Chapter 9. Inspired Action in Daily Life. Taking inspired action doesn't just apply to big goals or life-changing decisions. It's something that can, and should, be integrated into your daily life. When you approach everyday tasks with intention and alignment, even the most mundane actions can become powerful steps toward your goals. In this chapter, we'll explore how to bring the principles of inspired action into your daily routine, transforming ordinary moments into meaningful progress. Living with intention. One of the core principles of inspired action is intention. Living with intention means approaching each day with a clear sense of purpose, even in the small things. It's about being mindful of how you spend your time and energy, and ensuring that your actions are aligned with your values and goals. When you live with intention, you're not just going through the motions or doing things out of habit. Instead, you're consciously choosing to take actions that support your vision. This doesn't mean that every moment needs to be focused on productivity or achievement. Rather, it's about being present and mindful in whatever you're doing, knowing that each moment offers an opportunity to align with your purpose. For example, when you're working on a project, ask yourself, what is the deeper purpose behind this task? How is this action moving me closer to my goal? Even if the task seems small or insignificant, approaching it with intention can shift your perspective and bring a greater sense of meaning to your work. Turning mundane tasks into purposeful actions. Much of life is made up of mundane tasks, chores, errands, and responsibilities that may not seem exciting or inspiring. However, these tasks can become part of your journey when approached with the right mindset. The key is to see them not as distractions from your goals, but as opportunities to practice presence and alignment. For instance, something as simple as cleaning your space can become an act of clearing mental and emotional clutter. When you tidy your home with the intention of creating a peaceful and productive environment, you're supporting your ability to focus on your goals. Similarly, running errands can be an opportunity to practice mindfulness, staying present in the moment and cultivating a sense of gratitude for the resources and opportunities you have. Every task, no matter how small, carries energy. When you bring intentionality to even the most routine actions, you create a ripple effect that influences other areas of your life. This doesn't mean forcing meaning into everything, but rather approaching life with a sense of curiosity and openness, recognizing that every moment has the potential to contribute to your overall journey. Creating routines that support inspired action. While inspired action often arises from moments of intuition or sudden clarity, having supportive routines can create the foundation for these moments to occur. Routines provide structure, which allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in distractions or indecision. Creating routines that support inspired action means designing your day in a way that aligns with your goals and values. This might include setting aside specific times for reflection, creative work, or self-care, anything that helps you stay connected to your purpose. For example, you might start your day with a morning routine that includes meditation, journaling, or setting intentions for the day. This practice helps you tune into your inner guidance and start the day with a sense of clarity and focus. Similarly, having a consistent time for reviewing your goals or reflecting on your progress can help you stay aligned with your vision. The key is to design routines that work for you, not ones that feel rigid or restrictive. Routines should create space for inspired action, not stifle it. Flexibility is important. Leave room for spontaneity and flow so that when inspiration strikes, you can act on it without feeling constrained by a schedule. Balancing structure and flexibility. While routines and structure are helpful, it's equally important to remain flexible. Inspired action often comes in unexpected moments, and if you're too rigid with your time, you might miss opportunities to act on inspiration when it arises. Balancing structure and flexibility means allowing space for both planned actions and spontaneous inspiration. For example, you might block out time for specific tasks, but also leave open periods in your schedule where you can follow your intuition. These open periods give you the freedom to explore new ideas, act on sudden insights, or simply rest when you need it. Flexibility also means being willing to adjust your plans when necessary. Life is unpredictable and sometimes the path to your goals will shift. Instead of being frustrated by changes in your routine or schedule, view them as opportunities to flow with the rhythm of life. Trust that the universe is guiding you, and that detours often lead to new insights or unexpected opportunities. Infusing creativity into your daily actions. Inspired action thrives on creativity. When you approach daily tasks with a creative mindset, you open yourself up to new possibilities and solutions. This doesn't mean you need to be an artist or engage in traditional forms of creativity. Rather, it's about bringing a sense of curiosity and openness to whatever you're doing. For example, if you're working on a project, ask yourself, how can I approach this task in a new or different way? Is there a more efficient or enjoyable method to achieve this goal? By allowing yourself to think creatively, you invite fresh ideas and perspectives that can make even routine tasks more enjoyable and effective. Creativity also involves giving yourself permission to experiment and play. Sometimes, inspired action comes from trying something new, even if it feels outside your comfort zone. Whether it's learning a new skill, exploring a hobby, or finding a different approach to your work, embracing creativity in your daily life keeps you open to inspiration. Staying connected to your inner guidance. As you integrate inspired action into your daily life, it's important to stay connected to your inner guidance. This means regularly checking in with yourself to ensure that your actions are aligned with your deeper purpose. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and lose sight of what truly matters, but by staying attuned to your inner voice, you can keep your actions purposeful. One way to stay connected is through daily reflection. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes at the end of each day to ask yourself, what actions did I take today that were aligned with my goals? What felt inspired? What didn't? These questions help you evaluate how you're spending your time and make adjustments as needed. Another way to stay connected is through mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing. These practices help quiet the noise of everyday life and allow you to tune into your intuition. When you make space for stillness, you create room for inspiration to arise. Finding flow in the everyday. One of the most powerful ways to integrate inspired action into daily life is to find moments of flow. Flow is the state in which you become fully immersed in an activity, losing track of time and feeling deeply connected to the task at hand. In flow, your actions feel effortless, and you're able to tap into your full creative potential. You don't need to be doing something extraordinary to experience flow. It can happen in everyday tasks, whether you're writing, working on a project, exercising, or even cooking a meal. The key is to approach the task with focus, intention, and an openness to the present moment. Flow occurs when you're fully engaged in the task, without being distracted by thoughts of the past or future. When you find flow in your daily life, you're able to take inspired action more effortlessly, because you're in alignment with the rhythm of life. Living in alignment with inspired action. Inspired action is not just something you do occasionally, it's a way of living. By bringing intention, creativity, and mindfulness to your daily actions, you create a life that is aligned with your purpose and goals. Whether you're working on a big project or simply going about your daily routine, every moment offers an opportunity to take inspired action. The more you integrate inspired action into your daily life, the more natural it becomes. You'll find that even the smallest actions carry significance when they are aligned with your vision. By staying connected to your inner guidance and remaining open to inspiration, you'll create a life that flows with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Chapter 10. Trusting the Journey Toward Destiny. As you continue to take inspired action and align your daily life with your goals, there's one essential element that will sustain you through the ups and downs of your journey: trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process, and trust that the universe is guiding you toward your highest good. In this final chapter, we'll explore how to maintain trust in the journey, how to embrace setbacks as part of your growth, and how to remain committed to your vision, even when the path ahead isn't clear. The nature of the journey. Every journey has its twists and turns. No matter how clear your vision or how committed you are to taking inspired action, there will be moments when things don't go as planned. You may encounter setbacks, delays, or unexpected challenges that make you question whether you're on the right path. It's important to remember that the journey toward your destiny is not always linear. Growth is rarely a straight line. There will be periods of progress, times of reflection, and moments when it feels like you're standing still. But even in the stillness, things are happening beneath the surface. Trusting the journey means believing that every step, whether it feels like a leap forward or a moment of pause, is bringing you closer to your ultimate destination. Trusting yourself. At the heart of trusting the journey is learning to trust yourself. Self-trust is the foundation of inspired action because it allows you to move forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. It's the belief that, no matter what happens, you have the inner strength, resilience, and wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. Self-trust is built through experience. Each time you take action, each time you face a challenge and come through the other side, you strengthen your belief in yourself. Over time, you learn that you are capable of handling whatever arises, and that every experience, good or bad, teaches you something valuable. But self-trust isn't about always having the right answers or making the perfect decision. It's about trusting your ability to adapt, learn, and grow. Even if you make mistakes or take a wrong turn, trusting yourself means believing that you can course correct and find your way again. It's this trust in your own resilience that will keep you moving forward, no matter what obstacles arise. Trusting the timing of the universe. One of the most challenging aspects of the journey is trusting the timing of the universe. We often want things to happen on our own timeline. We set goals, create plans, and expect results to follow a certain schedule. But life doesn't always unfold according to our expectations. Sometimes, the universe has its own timing, and what we perceive as delays or setbacks are actually opportunities for growth or realignment. Trusting the timing of the universe means letting go of the need to control every aspect of the process. It means accepting that things may take longer than you anticipated, but believing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This can be difficult, especially when you're eager to see results, but it's essential for maintaining peace and balance on the journey. Consider moments in your life when things didn't happen according to your plan, but in hindsight, you can see how the timing was perfect. Perhaps a delay allowed you to gain new insights, meet the right person, or discover a better opportunity. Trusting the timing of the universe means believing that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and that everything is happening in its own perfect time. Embracing setbacks as part of growth. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey, but they don't have to derail your progress. In fact, setbacks often provide the greatest opportunities for growth. They force you to pause, reflect, and reassess your approach. They teach you resilience, patience, and the ability to adapt. When you view setbacks as part of the journey, rather than as failures, you transform them into valuable learning experiences. Every challenge you face has the potential to make you stronger and more aligned with your purpose. The key is how you respond to the setback. Instead of becoming discouraged or giving up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow through this challenge? By shifting your mindset, you turn obstacles into stepping stones that bring you closer to your goals. Sometimes, setbacks occur because the universe is redirecting you toward a better path. What may seem like a failure in the moment could be the universe's way of guiding you away from something that isn't aligned with your highest good. Trust that even when things don't go according to plan, the universe is always working in your favor. Staying committed to your vision. One of the most important aspects of trusting the journey is staying committed to your vision, even when the path isn't clear. There will be times when you doubt yourself or feel uncertain about the direction you're heading. In these moments, it's crucial to reconnect with your original intention and remind yourself why you started. Staying committed to your vision doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. It means holding on to the essence of your goal, while remaining open to how it may evolve over time. As you grow, your vision may shift, and new opportunities or desires may emerge. Trust that your journey is not static. It's a dynamic process of growth, discovery, and alignment. When doubt arises, return to the deeper purpose behind your actions. Reflect on the progress you've already made and the lessons you've learned along the way. Trust that even when the path feels unclear, you are still moving forward. Sometimes, the most powerful progress happens when you can't see it clearly in the moment. Celebrating progress along the way. One of the best ways to maintain trust in the journey is to celebrate your progress along the way. It's easy to focus on what you haven't yet achieved, but recognizing how far you've come is equally important. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory worth acknowledging. Celebrating progress doesn't mean waiting until you've reached your ultimate goal. It means honoring the small wins, the incremental steps, and the moments of growth that happen along the way. These celebrations reinforce your commitment to your vision and remind you that you're moving in the right direction. Take time to reflect on your journey regularly. What have you accomplished? What challenges have you overcome? What have you learned about yourself? By celebrating your progress, you build momentum and stay motivated, even during the more challenging phases of the journey. Trusting the unknown. The journey toward your destiny will always involve a certain level of uncertainty. You won't always have a clear roadmap, and there will be times when you have to take action without knowing exactly where it will lead. This is where trust becomes your greatest ally. Trusting the unknown means embracing the mystery of life. It's about stepping forward with faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about believing that you are being guided even when you can't see the full picture. The unknown is not something to fear. It's a space of infinite possibility, where unexpected opportunities and serendipitous moments can arise. By trusting the unknown, you open yourself up to new experiences and insights that you couldn't have planned for. You allow the universe to work in ways that are beyond your current understanding. When you trust the unknown, you invite magic into your life, and you create the space for miracles to happen. Trusting the journey toward your destiny. As you reach the end of this journey, remember that inspired action is not just about taking steps toward a goal, it's about trusting the process, the timing, and the lessons along the way. The journey toward your destiny is filled with moments of growth, challenge, and transformation. Trusting the journey means believing that every step, whether it feels like progress or a setback, is part of your path. Trust yourself. Trust the timing of the universe. Trust that the obstacles you face are opportunities for growth, and that the unknown holds infinite possibilities for your future. Stay committed to your vision, celebrate your progress, and remain open to how your journey unfolds. Conclusion: moving forward with confidence and trust. As you've learned throughout this book, inspired action is not just a one-time event. It's a way of living, a mindset that you can cultivate in your daily life. It's about being in tune with your inner guidance, trusting your intuition, and taking aligned steps toward your goals. But most importantly, it's about having faith in yourself and in the process. Life's journey is full of twists and turns, but with inspired action, you're equipped to navigate it with grace, resilience, and confidence. The small steps you take, no matter how insignificant they may seem in the moment, are creating the foundation for the future you envision. Each action, each decision, and each moment of reflection moves you closer to your true destiny. Remember, the universe is always supporting you. The signs, synchronicities, and moments of inspiration are all part of the guidance you receive as you walk your path. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and that the journey itself is a rich and meaningful part of your growth. Now, as you move forward, continue to embrace inspired action. Whether in small, everyday tasks or in the pursuit of your biggest dreams, know that every step counts. Celebrate your progress, stay committed to your vision, and trust that the universe is working with you to bring your desires into reality. The life you desire is within reach, and it all begins with the decision to act. So go forward with confidence, knowing that your inspired actions are leading you toward the life you're meant to live.